What's up there, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Derail Valley. In the last episode we went on a shopping spree and we bought a number of gadgets and mounting plates and stuff like that. So this should be a good episode where we'll be installing some of those things. Right, what I do want to say is please do grab yourself a drink. We're going to hit the tool shed and then we're going to get cracking. Alright, so last time like I said, we bought a bunch of stuff basically, and we've brought our locos back here. We recovered one of the DE6s that we were using, and we've got another one basically strapped to the back of it, which we're going to use at the rear of our train. They might not always be switched on, but yeah, we're certainly going to make use of them the same way we did a couple of videos ago in that really long train that we did. Well, we made use of a second DE6 at the back to offload some of the items, some of the cars, so that was exciting. But in this one, as you see, we've also got our two DE6s and the Slug, which are our front trains. So basically, we already loaded up our backpack with some remote switches, soldering stuff, some mounting plates and various tools. So we're going to get started with installing these things. We'll start with our lead locomotive. So what's awesome about this game is if you installed something, you want something installed, you can pretty much place it anywhere you want. So all you need is the right mounting plate. So for these remotes, we can put them where we want them, really. We could put them there. You can't really put them there because it wouldn't quite fit, even though the mounting plate fits. The actual remote itself is slightly larger. Could put them on this door if we want there. I like them there. They just seem to just fit nicely. So I place the mounting plate firstly, and then I'm going to grab that. I could actually use button 2 for that because it's in the toolbox, and I'm going to drill these holes. So you see the drilling and screwing process is basically one and the same. You then grab the item that you want into place and you click it on. Now in this case we're installing remote MU, which is multiple unit controllers. So these are wireless controllers. At the moment it's not wired in, so switching it on does nothing. But basically what this allows us to do, for each train that we have those installed in, where we have the MU cable, the multiple unit cable connecting units together, so in this instance we've got a DE6 connected to a DE6 Slug and another DE6 here, all connected with an MU cable, multiple unit cable. Basically, it allows us to control all 3 units from the front. But when you have a remote installed and you have it switched on, it overrides that cable and makes it no longer effective. So we need to install remote units, wireless units into each of our cabs. Now what this does mean is that the Slug, when the remotes are active, won't be operational. So we'll basically be pulling it with us. It's 125 tons, which is actually heavier than a DE6 because it's got concrete in there as well. So it's got traction motors and concrete, which certainly helped us out in that previous mission. But in this case, we're either going to be using the Slug without the remote and having these two locos tailing behind as just basically like a dead car, a dead locomotive until we actually want to fire them up, and in which case we can then use them for offloading the rear end of the train. Either that or we switch to remote control, which will be this train controlling this locomotive and both of these, and having these push from the back. So that'll be like 4 sets of traction motors as opposed to 3. So it's kind of going to be a balancing act depending on what we need at the time, but this allows us so much flexibility in terms of what we can haul. The good thing is as well, because we've got the loco's facing outwards, it means it doesn't matter which direction we're going. We don't have to turn the train around. We just switch, for the sake of it, we switch the lights so that they're facing the other way. But for now, guys, let's assume that this is our front loco. So we've got two different settings here. We can have off, TX, which is transmit, which you would put in the front train, the one that you're actually controlling, or RX, which is receive. You can then have the signal received as either forward or reverse in terms of the reverser. So this handle, that's forward, and obviously that's reverse, will be either forward if you have it in forward mode, or reverse if you have it in reverse mode. The opposite of whatever we have here, in other words, if you've got, once the remote unit is installed in the other locos. Alright, so without switching anything on so far, actually let me go back to that one, I forgot to wire it. Right, let's wire this one first. So we're going to grab our soldering gun. As you can see, when we point it at it, if I just switch to pointer, you'll see it's got a red light here. That means there's no electrical wiring which has been soldered in so far. Alright, so after using it, you'll see it's still red. Well, if you look away and then you look again, it goes green, which means that it's now wired in. And we can test that by turning this. So this is going to be the transmission unit. There's also 8 different channels. In this instance, this loco is facing forward, and we're going to be operating it in forward mode. So that's all set. You see it's got connected, which means that it is literally switched on, syncing, the lights on, but there's no unit to connect it to, so I'm not entirely too sure why those lights come on when you don't have a unit which is currently connected to it. But anyway, we're going to repeat the process here. So, bracket, drill, again, unit in the hand on. Now, if for some reason you wanted to move it, you didn't like that spacing, all you need to do is just grab the hammer. This is the same with anything, you just hit it. Same with the bracket, down it comes. Alright, so it's as simple as that to remove it. And then if you got stuck, now all this is in the tutorial, and you wanted to fill these holes, just use the filling gun, and basically the holes disappear. So you just do on that each one. I'll probably have to, for the sake of not leaving the holes, I'll do it on each of them like that. Right, so I'm going to grab this again, stick this there, get my drill again, let's drill it again. Okay, there we are. So we'll grab this, stick that in. This one is going to be receiving, be in the rear. Actually, silly me. Let's just jump out a sec, because what I want to do is grab this soldering gun and show you something. So once you've used it, if you click again, it drops that. Don't worry about that. That will despawn. But you need to grab another one. Now, to load it, it's not a case of just placing it on it like that. It doesn't do anything. You've got to hold it. You can then, let's do it in an artistic way. We'll put it there using the R key, and then basically all you do is just go back to your soldering gun, which we've got now, click on it, and then it loads it. We'll get this one installed now. Okay, that's now done, as we've got receiving signal. Now, this train is facing, this locomotive, sorry, is facing the opposite direction. We'll switch it to reverse. And that amber light now lights, just to let you know. So basically, if you're over here, you know, in this instance, the train would be going the other way. You can look up, yes, it's lit, if you fancy that. All right, so we'll work our way around. I'm just going to ditch that. Might as well while I'm doing that, reload this as well. So we'll pop that there. Right, that's loaded for when we need it. What we'll do now is just grab another one of these. Pop it up there. It's just funny when you put that back in your backpack, it just goes silent. The one thing I will say, guys, once we have got the museum open, we may leave the slug there. We may leave some of these locos there, depending on what we fancy at the time. That one's on. So one thing I wanted to show you, if you've got two, switch to transmit. It'll flash conflict. Please let me turn it. There we go. So this loco is again facing in rear because it's the one which is there, like opposite. You know, it's parallel with that one. And this loco is going to be another forward facer if we intend to run them in this direction. We might end up running them in the opposite direction out of here towards goods factory in town. In which case, machine factory in town. In which case, we're going to have to switch the ends of the remote units. All right, last one then. Pop that in. We need to do the old dispatching of this. Soldering gear. Before we do anything else, we'll just clip that off and pop back in here. Right, let's switch this. So it's going to be in receiving mode, and this one is forward. Right, okay, demonstration time. Let's see if it all works. So, we'll start with our first loco, the channeled one, the one which is transmitting. Actually, we'll just make sure these parking brakes are off over here. Yeah, okay, let's jump over. I'm assuming that the power's still on this train. Well, yes, it must be, because what would happen otherwise, actually... If the power wasn't on, I'll show you. Even though the engine's now running because it's already got ignition, that unit switches off. Okay. Right, so we'll throw that. We'll just stick a bit of brake on. And I'll put her into drive. Now, let's hop over here. Actually, I need to fire up this unit. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. We're in reverse. Wow. Could have just stayed on that side. Right. Okay, so our controls in here are now set, the same as that one. So it's this direction because this is facing the opposite direction. So the reverse is set the same. The train brake is now the same. Just checking everything's on there. Yep, perfect. I'll just switch the lights, actually. Whoops. So we've got some headlights on and tail light at this end. Got a tail light there. I noticed, actually. Got headlights on here. I don't think I left it like that. I'm pretty sure, actually, we left it like that. Yeah, and there's a tail light on here for some reason. Well, I don't think we left it like that. The multiple unit connection isn't even in place here, so I don't know why it's done that. This should all be disconnected. The brakes are connected. Right, we'll open... Actually, while we're here, just remembered, we'll open these brake valves, because these are now going to be running in unison. Right, we'll fire these two up. So, again, the brakes set the same. Reverser, all good. And I'm not worried about this flashing brake light because this will, once we fired this one up, this will come into effect and it should deal with that. Although, I might have to throw that cutout switch. Right, so all our locos are on. Yeah, I need to throw this. What's wrong here then? Do we have a parking brake on over here? I think we do, don't we? How about this one? Yeah, 2 sets of parking brakes. Okay, now we're sorted. So, looking out this window, now, what I will say is, we're going to run them forward, but what I would say is, bear in mind we've got a slug behind here. So this is going to move slower, despite the extra power. It's going to accelerate slower, should I say. But there we go. All units are moving in the right direction. Let's ease the power off. Brakes. Let's test the dynamic brake. Yeah, all units fired up. Here the slug as well. Traction motors fired up. Right, so reversing now. You should get the similar result. Although, do we have brakes on? Is that what's happening? Ah, we've got independent brake on. So there she goes. She's setting off first. You can hear that. Hopefully there's no cars behind us. One sec. Yeah, we're not really going fast anyway, but anyway, we'll just play it safe. Alright, so that begs the question, what happens if you're at this end and you're the transmitting loco and you've got this one in reverse? That's a question that I have thought of while I've been doing this video. So let's switch this and say, right, this is now a receiving loco. This is the transmitting one. This is the one that we're in. But this is in reverse. What happens here? Is it just me? Does it just mean that the signal's still correct? Doesn't matter which way around you have that? Let's see. Or does it mean that it does... Okay, I'm hearing some whistling there actually. Ah. Independent brake was still on. So yeah. Wow, listen to that. So it doesn't matter which way around you have that. We should see this other loco come flying out the end of here faster than what we're moving. So it doesn't matter which way you have the forward and backwards. You just have to have one way and one the other. Where is she? Ah, there she is. So there she is. Off ahead of us. So, having tested this a little bit now, we can safely say that if we had to, we can disconnect that. Begs the question of what we do brakes-wise, but I would say no. We'll leave the brake pipe open because this doesn't have a brake control anyway, so there's nothing to worry about with that being shut down. Let's release. Let's see what the acceleration's like now that we've disengaged with the slug. We'll disengage at this end as well. Actually, the slug's not operative anyway. What am I talking about? We've got the remote on. What am I talking about? So again, we are just literally going back to where we were. We'll probably find that that loco is in front of us and probably not synced with us in terms of the alignment due to the weight. Yeah, just ignore what I was saying about the slug. Alright, so we're actually ahead of that loco now. So there's probably a point where we've just gone out of sync with them quite severely. We'll leave this connected up because it doesn't make any difference, really. Right, the only question is now, is what jobs are we taking next, and therefore, what's going to be our forward cab? Because we're going to install some of these other things, these gadgets, and they need to be in whichever cab we're going forward in. So, let's see what jobs we've got here. So we've got sawmill, empty cars, goods factory in town. We've got steel mill. We've got a couple of food factories and another steel mill. So I say we're going to steel mill. We've got a decent weight here, about 1,500 tons, 1.4 say. So that's, well, 1.5, yeah, sorry. So yeah, that's going to be fine. These aren't really in the same direction, really, apart from sawmill. But I don't want to go all the way down there. I want to go here. So I think we'll probably just take... we could go that way. I don't think we've been this way before. Going through there would be a good test. But the easiest route is down this way. Through a machine factory, City West. That's a bit tricky. We haven't actually been through farm. We could see if there's anything popping at farm in terms of jobs. Otherwise, it'll be on the steel mill. And then, obviously, we'll be taking a look to see what's going on. The other option is we could go to a food factory first. And then come down that way. I think we've done that before. What jobs have they got going there? So, empty cars, really. Bit of extra money. So we could drop those off first. Bear in mind we've got a lot of locos to take with us. So which cars is it? Let's have a look. Let's see, and then we can decide. So let's say this is our first drop off. Actually, let's move these things up there. So let's say we do go to food factory first. We'll be heading out the other way, the opposite direction to down here. So how do we go about installing these things now? This is going to be new to me. I haven't bothered with any of these gadgets before, so this could be quite fun. But seeing as we're on an installation episode, we can pop these in. Right, let's go see. We might need some of this, actually. We might need these. 3 of those, and we might need the crimping tool. I'm not sure. I think the crimping tool's just used for lights and stuff like that, like small gadgets, but we might need it for these. So we'll put the drill in 5 and the soldering iron into 6. Right, let's go see then. So let's assume we're heading out this way. So what do we want to do here? Well, let's have a look. We can look at installing the clinometer. Let's see. So let's put it, say, at the back, see if it'll let us do that. Is that even straight? I want to put it sort of in between. It won't let me move slowly. There we go. Is that in between, roughly? Guess so. Right, if we put that there, not enough space, so we could have had the bigger bracket for this, which might be a good idea, or we could have mounted it up there, which would have been fine. Or the other option, I think what the problem is we could mount it on the edge. I don't know whether you like that. So that's one way of doing it. The other option, actually, because we can put this anywhere, is here. Don't know whether it'll go on a windowsill. It might go there. If we hold down R. No, not quite. I'd like it to be straight. Is that straight? It's difficult to see for me. Oh, we can zoom in. Okay, let's try that then. Drill. Back to the actual device. Do you think? It's kind of blocking the speedo a bit. Might have made more sense to put it there, but it's kind of got to be hanging now. Does it need any wiring, or is it already operating there? In terms of, is it? Seems to be operating, doesn't it? Does it need to be wired? I don't think so. Let's try the crimping tool just to check. No. Right, I don't think it needs wiring. It looks like it's just working. Might not need electrics. It might just be I don't know what the word is for it. It's just not needing power. Right, next. What have we got? So we've got a digital clock. So this one should be a bit easy. I want this out of sight, kind of out of mind type thing. Where do we want it? Look at the state of this. It's a shame. I wonder if you can sort of spray this inside down a bit and get rid of all this stuff. Right, let's pop it up there. I don't know whether I'll grade it, but the good thing is, and let me know in the comments section if you want it moving, I can just hammer it. It'll come off. And bear in mind, all of these locos are running right now, so I'm running up costs. Right, let's see. It's alright though. It's for the sake of the cause. Right, let's pop this up here. Don't like that. But we can change it. Right, do we have to use this? Yes. Right, there's our clock. Installed. It's 12:32. Let's see. It is indeed. We'll drop that in there. Let's go see what's next. 12:35. Time's moving on, isn't it? It's a shame that doesn't light up red. Can you? I wonder if you can. Can you change it? Nope, no buttons do anything. So, right, next up, a digital speedometer. I guess we could have put it above there, couldn't we? Yeah, we might end up rearranging some things here, but digital speedo. So let's get the this stand. Why is it? It does this sometimes where it won't let you look around. Why won't it let me move now? Oh, it won't let me do anything. I don't know how I got out of this last time. It won't let me look around. Even if I press Alt, it doesn't do it. That's frustrating. It sometimes just corrects itself, but it's not allowing me to do it this time. Is there a key that I've pressed that's done that? Wow, that is very frustrating actually. No, I don't think it's me. I think it just does it. Oh, there we go. I don't know how I freed that off. Here we are anyway, back in full effect. Let's have another go then. So, digital speedo. This is quite large, isn't it? Right, we might need to change some of these mounts. Thankfully, they're not very expensive. Yeah, that doesn't look very good either. I don't like either of the way those two look. Yeah, very ugly. What we're going to do, we're going to solder, I think. Probably. There we go. So we're all installed. Just try moving the forward backwards a tiny bit. Why is it moving so slowly? Oh, that brake was on as well. I'm hearing noises. Is the parking brakes on? Oh, do you know why? This is the lead loco, isn't it? That's just the receiving one. Yeah, glad we noticed that. It's interesting, it didn't make any difference. Or seemingly didn't make any difference having that cut out, not switched. So there we go. Yeah, and the speedo's working just fine. So we'll put the brakes on. And there we have it, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interesting episode. A little bit different. We don't have any lights on the front. Why is the light switched off? What's going on? That's very odd. Right. Well, we've installed what we've got. We might need to do some more work in terms of getting those mounts replaced next time. But I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Next time we're going to be loading up these trains ready for the off. I think we will do Machine Factory Town first. Sorry, Food Factory Town first, onto Steel Mill. The other option is we could do Machine Factory in Town actually, onto Steel Mill. Oh no, we can't. There's no job. Okay, that was previously. How much are our fees as well so far? Let's just take a quick glance. So yeah, we're running up fees. They're quite high, but this is from our previous job still, remember? So when we get to Steel Mill, we'll manually service our vehicles. We'll unlock the museum license. We'll probably grab those two locos, the DM3 and the DH4, ready for restoration as well. Right, guys, really hope you enjoyed it. Please do hit the like button if you did. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys again soon.